Let's talk about electronic employee onboarding. DynaFile's onboarding solution is done through a partnership with a company called DocuSign. DocuSign is the global leader in electronic signatures, and through an integration with their product, DynaFile users can create electronic templates for all of their onboarding forms, design all of the routing and workflow around that process, and have their new hires fill out and legally sign all of their onboarding documentation online. Once they're finished, all of that completed and signed documentation will get sent back to DynaFile and automatically filed in that new hires folder, ready for you to search for and retrieve when you need it. So let's take a look at that process. As I pop up my second browser window here, you'll see the home screen for my DocuSign account. On the bottom left under ID card, you'll see my information as well as my chosen signature style. Just above that in envelope status, we get a nice bird's eye view of all the documents we've sent out to get signed and where they are in that signing process. You'll notice that most of mine have been completed here, but I am still waiting on a couple that are out for signature. Now, I've already selected an onboarding packet that I'd like to work with today, so I'm just going to come up to the top and click on Send. And on this next screen, I'll be able to show you how we can create templates for all of your onboarding documents. Now, one of the nice things about these templates is that they're not just for your individual forms. You can also create templates for your entire onboarding packet like we've done here today. Now, our packet is very simplistic. We just have 3 different forms in here: a data sheet, a new hire authorization, and a W-4. But you can have as many documents in your packet as you like. When you actually want to start building these templates, just upload a copy of one of your existing onboarding forms. It'll come in here and be the base of your template, just like the data sheet. To build the online form, you're just going to drag and drop these digital form fields to the appropriate point on the page. You'll see I have a last name field here for the applicant, and I can drop that right on the last name line, overlaying our original form. Now, where I'm actually getting all of these fields is from the left-hand column. You'll notice that we do have some pretty common ones for name, email address, company title, and things like that. But you can also use just a generic data field, or some other options like a checkbox for multiple choice answers, or radio buttons for a yes or no. These come in handy for things like marital status. Now you'll notice on my template, I have a couple of form fields highlighted in red. These are going to be required fields. This is a great feature because as your new hires are going through their packet and filling out all of their information, they won't be able to finish and sign off on that onboarding packet until they've filled out all of the required information that you have set up on your template. You can also add validation to any of these fields. So for your social security number field, you can lock it down so it's only going to accept 9 numerical characters. As we jump down to the bottom of this form, you'll see the Sign Here tag. Simply place this right where you want that employee's signature, and the date signed will be automatically applied when they sign it. You can also add things like signer attachments to these documents, really handy for things like your direct deposit forms. You can actually add this button on there, and as your new hire goes through and fills out their form, they have the option to click on this and upload a copy of their voided check, photo ID, or any other supplemental documentation you're asking for from them. It'll get attached to their onboarding packet, and you can review that along with the rest of their documentation when they're done. Lastly, you can actually include a required link in any of these forms as well. Very good for your handbook acknowledgments. You can put a required link to the digital version of your employee handbook, and since it's required, you know that that new hire is going to click on it and review it before they sign off and say that they did. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this last name field is for a specific person in our workflow. It's for the applicant or the new hire. We could set that up for any field in our template, so we know that, for example, new hires are not going to fill out information where HR or payroll should be. And you have complete control over the routing of these documents as well. You can create serial or parallel workflows as long or as short as you like, as complicated or as simple as you like. When that workflow is completed, that's when those documents are going to get sent back to DynaFile and automatically filed in that employee's folder for you. For today's purposes, I'm simply going to onboard myself and have those documents come right back to DynaFile. So I'm just going to enter my email address and name and hit Send Now. So besides actually talking about how we create those onboarding templates, once you have them built, they're very quick and easy to send out. Just select the appropriate onboarding packet, enter the new hire's name and email address, and hit Send. Takes all of about 15 to 30 seconds there. What'll happen is the new hire will receive an email. In the email will be your logo, branding, and custom instructions, and at the bottom there will be an encrypted link. When the new hire clicks on the encrypted link, they'll be brought to a page that looks very similar to this. They won't have to log in or sign up for DocuSign or DynaFile. They'll just be brought directly through that secure link to their onboarding packet. So they would come down and click on Continue to agree to use electronic signatures, and it would bring them down to the first required field in their packet. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill out some of this information and show you what it might look like from the new hire's perspective. You can see that this zip code field is validating for us. It only wants to see 5 numerical characters. So we'll go ahead and give it what it wants there. And now I've filled out all of the required information on this very first form, so I can come down here and click on Sign. Now, since I am logged in as a DocuSign user, it's going to use my preferred signature style. I could always change the look of that if I wanted to, but the important part is not the look, it's actually this unique ID that gets generated below it. The unique ID is telling you that the system's captured the signer's location, IP address, and all of the other information that's going to make this a legal and binding e-signature. Now you'll also notice that the information I entered up here is going to be auto-completed on all of the other forms in this packet. Really great time saver and a really nice way to cut back on typos. All of that annoying to enter information like an address or a social security number is going to get automatically entered on the subsequent forms for them if that's how you want it set up. So we come down to the very last form in our packet. Just want to show you how these required fields will enforce for you. If I remove that social security number, it will actually let me sign this form, but it won't let me finish my onboarding packet. It's going to bring me right back up to that social security field, and it's going to say, hey, this is required information. You have to enter that before you finish your packet. If I put it back in, I can now go ahead and finish that. When the new hire clicks Finish, this document and all the documents in this onboarding packet will be sent to the next person in the workflow. When that workflow is completed, all of those documents will be automatically sent back to DynaFile and filed in that new hires folder for you. Now for today's purposes, I just have that workflow going out to myself, the new hire, and then back to DynaFile. So let's take a look at these completed forms filed back in DynaFile in my new folder. As we come back into our DynaFile site here and do a search for my name, we'll see that I now have a new folder automatically created. And in that folder are the 3 documents that were in my onboarding packet, filled out, signed, ready for you to retrieve when you need them.